Hey Virgo, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I'm here today with your March 2023 monthly horoscope. Before I begin, I'm just going to do a little bit of business. These horoscopes are based on whole sign Western astrology, so I'm talking about Virgo rising. This is also applicable to Virgo moon and Virgo sun. But when I refer to the house structure and what house this is happening in, it is based on Virgo rising. So if you don't know your rising sign, you're going to want to go to any one of the free birth calculators on the internet. You just need your exact time of birth and your location, and you can determine that information. To get a full picture of how March will affect you, it would be best to look at your rising, then your moon. I believe that we are emotional creatures. We manifest on our emotional body, and then our sun. So I think that's super important. And when I talk about the days and the times, I'm in the Pacific time zone, so please adjust for your location in the world. So my Virgos, the month starts off with Venus starting to have a conversation with Chiron and Jupiter in Aries. Aries is your 8th house of transformation. On the 3rd of March, Venus will be in an exact conjunction with Chiron at 13 degrees, and Jupiter is now at 12 degrees Aries. This is an influence that I think will be felt until the full moon on the 7th, meaning that there is a conversation about my beliefs, conversation about my money, my self-worth, my skills, moving them forward. And more than anything, it has a lot to do with my family history and how that set an imprint on who, what, and how I show up in the world. And having Aries be your 8th house gives you an opportunity to transform in ways that let your individual wants and desires become a priority. The house of Virgo is naturally what we call the house of the servant, the house of employment, the house of health. And so there is a strong sense of duty attached to this energy. And so when we're looking at this, these planets having so much energy going on in the house of the individual, the Aries is the self, moving me forward. So I think this is really important, because what's going to happen is I think you're going to be able to, Virgo likes to process and analyze. So this combination of Venus and Chiron gives you an opportunity to shift the wound into a gift and to reestablish your belief system, because I don't think that Virgo wants to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So it would be an incorporation. It would be an integration of some of the historic things that you've experienced and some of the routines that you like, and then allowing and the imprint of what you want to move forward, to put your wants and desires at the same priority as your obligations and your the things that you are of service to. Because on the 3rd, Mercury enters Pisces. Pisces is your 7th house of partnerships, and it is going to make a conjunction to Aquarius, which is your 6th house of service. I'm sorry, to Saturn in Aquarius at 29 degrees. All of this happening on the same day, meaning Venus having this conversation with Chiron and Jupiter, and then Mercury entering Pisces with a conjunction to Saturn. It's been feeling this conjunction for a few days as it went right by Saturn on its way into Pisces. So we're thinking about our history. Pisces rules our history, our ancestors, the places that we deliberate alone, and Saturn rules history. So I believe that this is an opportunity to liberate myself from any obligatory energies to a story that is not serving me, but serving my history, or the history that's been assigned to me, or the duty and obligation that has been associated with me historically. I think this is very, very powerful. On the 7th of March, Saturn enters Pisces. I did a separate video for that. I actually did Pluto moving into Aquarius and Saturn moving into Pisces, and I went through the springtime. So please check that video out. But for the purposes of this video, when Saturn moves into Pisces, it's going to traverse the 0 to 7 degrees in the year 2023. which is a 7-year. And we've also had a series of full moons, 7 of them to be exact by the time it's all done in Aries season, of full moons at the 16th degree. The 16th degree is the Cancer degree. It is a degree of nurturing, self-nurturing, and intuition. Where I'm going with this is I think we've been walking through this lower hemisphere of full moons. We have Saturn entering Pisces. We have Mercury entering Pisces, and we're having conversations about how we think. Mercury is your ruling planet. So it is the most dominant planet in your chart. So how you think, what you absorb, the time that you spend reading or absorbing the media and whatever platforms those are for you, they're going to come up in a way to observe whether they're really playing to the innovative version of yourself or maybe an old story. Because on the 7th, on the same day that Saturn moves into Pisces, and Pisces is your 7th house, so there could be a lot going on with how you are obligated to your professional partnerships and your intimate partnerships. And the 7th house is also about harmony, peace, and diplomacy, feeling a sense of warmth and comfort. And is Virgo putting themselves in the mix of this experience? Because I think this is what the full moon is going to illuminate. This is going to be a full moon at the 16th degree of Virgo. This is your full moon. It's going to be at 4:40 p.m. 4:40 a.m. on March 7th. So you're going to wake up that morning, if you're here in the Pacific, maybe not, if you're somewhere else in the world. And I think somewhere, I don't know why I want to put it this way, I feel like there's dream time going on, as if that Piscean energy, because the sun will be in Pisces, the moon will be in Virgo, creating an opposition. And there's that 16th degree, and it feels like some sort of epiphany. The sun will be making a trine to Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is your 9th house of beliefs. So I think this month of March is really not about marching physically my story forward, but instead internally starting to process things from a more aware and intentional way. And when I say intentional, I mean, it's like I have this initial way of thinking, oh, I need to do this for this person. I need to make sure my boss gets out. I need to make sure my children get this. And then stopping and saying, whoa, 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 where am I putting myself in the mix? Where do I, make time for me to take a hot bath or to have a hot meal or just to spend time alone? I think this is very important. I will also be doing a separate video on the full moon and going into this in more detail. On the 10th, we are going to see, March 10th, we're going to see Jupiter and Chiron now in Aries, again, your 8th house of transformation, at the 14th degree in an exact conjunction. Jupiter's been in Aries for a while, and so has Chiron. And I believe that it's about rewriting the word selfish. Aries can be called selfish. Aries is known as the warrior god and gets assigned a lot of challenging personality traits. At the same time, Aries is the person who runs into the burning building to save you. Aries is the one that leads the charge into new territory so that we can benefit from, the gold rush, or from, owning your own land as we traverse through a country and pioneer a new frontier. So when you are willing to pioneer a new frontier to your own psychological imprint, the 8th house by nature is Scorpio. Scorpio rules psychiatry. So this is a very, very transformational time for you. And Jupiter and Chiron at this time will be bringing up any wounds and beliefs you have about your own individuality and the permissions you give yourself to be an individual and the applause you will receive from others about that individuality. Because if you think about it, you rule the house of servants. And if you are the servant, then whoever you're serving has an investment in you serving them. But does that service serve you? That's what all this is about. So on the 13th, Mars, who's been in Gemini forever, Gemini is your 10th house of career, of public status. And I believe that Mars's long transit in Gemini is about being brave, about my thought process. Gemini rules the everyday activities. You know, both Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury. Mercury moves very quickly, as does Mars. So rather than digging deep for information, it takes little sound bites. So here we're looking at Mars in the last degrees of Gemini, making a trine to Saturn in the first degrees of Pisces. And to me, this is a strong influence that will be felt all the way through the end of the month, as Mars will enter Cancer on the 25th. And by the 29th, make an exact trine to Saturn in Pisces. Brave about looking at my history. It's not about villainizing my history or becoming victimized by my history, but rather a piece of information that makes me decide if I want to continue to purport that history into my future or I want to renovate it. On the 16th, Venus will move into Taurus. Taurus is your 9th house. And this is an opportunity for you to really start to put boots to the pavement of your belief system. Venus will be in rulership. And by the end of the month, she will be making an exact conjunction to Uranus, which has been transiting your 9th house for years now. So this is really an opportunity to liberate your mind from small-minded beliefs that held you small. You know, there is a place for small thoughts and there's a place for big thoughts, and neither benefit in their extremities, but the combination of the two serve the human immensely. And that's what I think is going on here as Venus enters this very transformational house, because as you have this activity in your 8th house of Aries, when you get into the 9th house, this is when you start to visibly transform your belief system and people will start to see you. And then once you move into your 10th house, which is that Gemini house, it becomes much more palatable. So there's a journey here. On the 19th of March, Mercury will enter your 8th house of Aries. And by the 27th of March, Mercury will be making an exact conjunction to Jupiter at 18 degrees. The 18th degree is the Virgo degree. This is my everyday activities, Mercury, Jupiter, the broader, bigger thoughts coming together to be renovated and to decide if they truly serve you. Because I really think that there's an opportunity for other humans to experience that as we allow ourselves the privilege of our passions, we become more excited about the service we do for others. We don't feel so tethered to it in an obligatory way. On the 20th of March, the sun will enter Aries, and the following day we'll have a new moon in Aries. And this is pivotal because it's at the 0 degree. That is on the world axis. This is the springtime of the zodiac, the very beginning of the new year. And at this world axis critical degree, that will happen at 10:23 a.m. and again in your 8th house of transformation. 2 days later, Pluto dips its toe into Aquarius. Aquarius is your 6th house of service. And this is an opportunity to liberate yourself. We will only feel Pluto at the 0 degree in the year 2023, which is powerful because it spends a lot of time there, and it takes 248 years for Pluto to traverse the whole zodiac. So this period of time at the 0 degree, both now and then when it moves forward in January 2024, are going to be pivotal for setting a tone. And I believe that this tone is to release you from any enslavement, because Aquarius is liberating you in your natural 6th house. And if for some reason there have been health issues, or you've been dealing with challenges with your nervous system, with even feeling scattered thoughts, this will start to bring everything back together. Because I think if you're feeling a sense of nervousness, a sense of a little bit of anxiety, I believe that's your inner voice calling for a more authentic experience. So I think there's real opportunity there. I didn't mention Cancer is actually your 11th house. So I want to offer this too when I go back to the idea of Mars being in Cancer, making that trine to Pisces, which is your 7th house. So there's an opportunity for something happening within your hopes and dreams, I feel as if there's a little something, I'm going to kind of say this in a way that feels like it's very specific to some people and may not be to others. But I think at the same time, if we broaden our definition of partnerships and we look at them as the individuals we spend most of our lives with, and oftentimes that's in the work environment. So I think there's an opportunity for you in your 11th house of hopes and dreams to be seen by your network in a more authentic way and appreciated for what you bring to the table. Okay, that's it for Virgo for March 2023. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, the share button, all those fun buttons. Comment, I read them all and I try to respond. But if I don't, just know I'm sending you love and I appreciate you. And please join me on Sunday mornings live at 11 a.m. Pacific time, where we look at the transits for the week ahead and we get the angels' advice for traversing those transits. All right, that's it for now. I'll be back. Peace out, Virgo.